purpose of business is to create and keep a customer. Peter F. Drucker, one of the godfathers of business books, and probably the only one you really need to read. The traditional power of brands to acquire customers through mass media marketing has been upended by technological and social change. A relentless focus on the customer is a key element of digital strategy and is actually the key element of what business is about to begin with, whether you're a for-profit or non-profit business. So consumers now wield the power to make or break brands, and businesses need to understand the dynamics of this shift in order to align your business with it. So this lecture will introduce you to the key aspects of customer focus needed to develop a digital strategy. So online presence. What we mean by that is we live in a multi-screen ecosystem of devices. Well, what does that mean? We're not just talking about desktop and mobile, which is the dichotomy that you hear a lot about, the device paradigm that we live in now. Going from PC or Apple desktop and to your smartphone. It's much, much wider than that. We live in a multi-screen ecosystem of devices, from the living room with its large, even now 4K TVs it can be, or large screen TVs, through to tablets and smartphones, which people use in the living room as a second device, second screen. Game consoles, from tablets down to big tablets, down to small tablets, down to smartphones, and smartphones themselves are not just small screens, they're bigger screens. So we have a range of devices in that, and now we have the watch devices as well, which are still in the first stages of rollout. Android and iWatch, still being experimented with. And then we have other devices which sort of classify into the connected life, where you have devices like Fitbit and whatever, which they might not have a screen in the traditional sense, but they have notifications and elements where information can be sent to you. And it can be bi-directional as well. You're streaming real-time bio data. And it's keeping track of what you're doing. So we live in a multi-screen ecosystem of devices, and that's the first, and they're connected, is the first thing to understand. Your online presence, does it need to scale across all those devices, or does it live only in a particular sector of those devices? Digital marketing, multi-channel targeting. The traditional elements of marketing, price, product, promotion, and place, still exist, but they're being expanded much more dramatically by the number of channels which people can access nowadays. YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, social networks, Tumblr, Snapchat, WeChat, and each of those channels are different touch points, and different types of your customer base might live in different channels. They don't just work across all of them. Each of those channels needs to be targeted differently in terms of content and tone and style. E-commerce is not just buying through Amazon now. You can run your own web stores, and quite easy to set up. So you have to consider, are you in the e-commerce business? You might not traditionally have thought you were, but you can be. Customer interaction, it's no longer more just one-way broadcasting to customers. There's lots of options for interacting with your customers in a bi-directional, in both ways, in real time. You can work with services to implement live chat on your website. Customer analytics tell you where your customers are going and what they're doing. You have mailing lists traditionally, web forms. It's expanded completely now, the forms of how you can interact with customers. Also over the other channels like we mentioned, Twitter and Facebook. They're all channels to interact with your customer base and use them to identify new avenues to develop products and services. So an example, online presence. As we mentioned, desktop to iWatch to Android Wear. You could website, you might be offering a particular product which scales down to just a small notification system on the iWatch interface, but actually scales up to if someone's using a desktop or a tablet. The site is responsive. Digital marketing. You might want to create a viral YouTube promotional content marketing and stick it out through YouTube or Vimeo or any of the video channels, depending what your objective is. E-commerce, you could create a WordPress site which still runs 20 to 30% of the internet, or you could set up a shop using Shopify or one of the other e-commerce sites, BigCommerce or whatever, in literally an hour or two. And customer interaction, you've got software as a service sites like Intercom.io, which you can plug directly into for customer analytics and for doing real-time customer feedback. So as an activity, you can do some of these on the forum with the other students. For online presence, what devices does your website app work on or not work on where it might need to? Digital marketing, where do your customers hang out currently? What channels? E-commerce, what can you sell online that you're not currently selling? Could be knowledge. You might be in the physical product business, but there might be consulting knowledge that you could sell online, just as we're doing through Udemy. Customer interaction, could use some on your own website or other channels. So have a think about some of those and post them to the forum. You can pause the video and get back to the conclusion when you're ready. So reviewing the key points. Customer focus elements of digital strategy, online presence. We live in a multi-screen ecosystem of devices. Digital marketing, multi-channel targeting, e-commerce, and customer interaction. In our next lecture, we're going to talk about some elements related to optimizing your business processes. So until then, take care. See you soon.